John McCain was the last decent Republican. And I want to play you the clip that we all are familiar with when that MAGA lady started going off and he took the microphone away. I want you to listen to how these two MAGA supporters talk about President Barack Obama.
We're scared of an Obama presidency, and I'll tell you why. I'm concerned about someone that cohorts with domestic terrorists such as heirs.
I have to tell you, he is a decent person and a person that you do not have to be scared as President of the United States.
I do not believe in. I can't trust Obama. I have read about him, and he's not. He's an Arab. He is not. No.
No, ma'am. He's a decent family man, citizen that I just happen to have disagreements with on fundamental issues, and that's what this campaign is all about.
I miss that decency in our politics, that John McCain handled that in a way. He could have jumped on the train and demonized Obama, but he didn't. That is what politics should be. Now, did you hear what those two people said? He's a terrorist. He's an Arab. He wants to destroy America because he was a black man. This happened in 2008, just a handful of years after 9/11, when brown people from a different country committed an act of terrorism. And that was the first domino for a lot of these white trash MAGA supporters. Because since 1619, white people have been the terrorists of this country. Lynching black people, making black athletes create the Negro Baseball League because they weren't qualified to play with the white people, lynchings, Jim Crow, segregation, giving smallpox blankets to Native Americans, giving fake injections to black people to test them with different viruses, putting Asians in internment camps. But they're totally fine with that because it was white culture. What's white culture? Listen to this right-wing nut, a Trump nominee, what he says.
So our ability to access white churches or white food or white music is being erased?
I am concerned with the majority common American culture that we had for some time that through particularly mass immigration, I think has become much more balkanized, and I think that weakens us.
That was this year. This guy was nominated by the white supremacists in the White House, talking about how we're losing white culture. And what did he say? Immigrants are diluting white culture in English, in hamburgers, and hot dogs, and pizza, in baseball, and football, in all of the white stuff that all we've known. You know, it's interesting when you think about it. People that are in this country that aren't white, they've been treated like a minority. They've been forced to assimilate to everything that we call American, when really it's just a white supremacist culture. But y'all don't want to think about that because it involves critical thinking, which you don't have, along with all of your teeth. That's what this is. It's a container of that frozen concentrate that you get in the orange juice, right? And you're supposed to mix, 2 or 3 cans? And you put 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. And pretty soon, that orange concentrate is so diluted, you can't even tell it's orange juice anymore. That is what Make America White Again means. Those people, that was before Barack Obama. And when a black man went into the White House and he wasn't out in the fields picking their cotton, they lost their minds and they went back to what they know. They're fine having a convicted felon who's a white man, a rapist who's a white man, a man who defends child molesters because he's white. They don't care that he cheats on his wife because he's white. They don't care that he defends child molesters because he's white. They don't care that he lies because he's white. They don't care that officers died on January 6th because he's white. They don't care that he murdered 170 girls in Iran because he's white, because he's white, because he's white. But when President Barack Obama wore a tan suit, they went absolutely nuclear over a tan suit. When a black man takes a knee and peacefully protests, they lost their mind and they went nuclear. When Ahmaud Arbery's chased down by 3 Trump supporters and murdered just for being black, nothing, not even thoughts and prayers. But when white men storm the Capitol, beat police officers, take a shit on Nancy Pelosi's desk, drag them down, beat them with flagpoles, beat them unconscious, tase them in the neck. When 4 commit suicide the following year from the PTSD, they're heroes, they're patriots because they're the white man. This hat I got for Father's Day. This was the Negro Baseball League, the Kansas City Monarchs. It was the team that Jackie Robinson was forced to play on because white people didn't want him on a team. Don't tell me this country's great. What they want and what they say when they say make America great again is make America white again. Because that's what they want. They want 1619, 1776, day after day after day after day, where the white man's in the majority. And that's why we're here. And white people aren't willing to fight and do what I'm doing. There's not enough people that look like me. And I know this topic isn't sexy, but I'm going to tell you right now, we're here because after the Civil War, we took the top of the weed off and we left the roots. The Lost Cause and the Daughters of the Confederacy. It got us this white trash, which is what they are. They're white trash. And they would rather burn this country to the ground than have a black woman run the country. By your fruits shall you be judged. Look at their vote. They accepted felonies, rape, insurrection, dead officers, misogyny, having dinner with white supremacists, defending child molesters. They were fine with all of it because they didn't want the black woman to be in the White House. Part of this country said, we did it once and we're not going to do it again. How are you the greatest country in the world if after 250 years, 51% of our population are women, and you've never had a woman president? Almost every atrocity in this country has been commanded by a white man. Every war, a white man. All the boys that were molested in the Catholic churches, hundreds of thousands, white men. All the women assaulted in the Baptist church, white men. Slavery, Jim Crow, genocide of Native Americans, white men, January 6th, white men. Over 60% of gun violence every year, white men. You see a trend? Yeah, they're the problem. It's me, it's us, it's white people. But the difference is I can see it because I don't have my head up my ass. I see America for what it is. And the main reason MAGA and conservatives, whatever the hell that even means anymore, basically it means I'm a white supremacist, but I'm not going to say it. I'm going to hide behind a cross. Is because you don't want to see that America has never been great for everybody. You want to believe the lie of American white greatness. If America was so great, why did we have black Negro teams? Just tell me that. Because we weren't. And because you're not black, because your parents weren't in somebody's will, because your parents weren't hanging from a damn tree, because you weren't segregated, because you didn't have to cross the Edmund Pettus Bridge, you're not called the Edward, you don't have to get to talk to your kids, you don't give a damn because you don't want to put yourself in the feet of somebody else. Because you don't care what anybody else thinks. That's why we're here. And there's not enough white people to do what I'm doing, and I'll be damned if I'm not going to do everything in my power to fix this damn country. because it has to be people that have benefited from it, which is white people. This is not about Democrat or Republican. This is about the original sin of this country that was founded by slave owners that own black people, that are afraid of their white culture going away. Yo hablo español. Mi trabajo secundario fue Burger King. Toda la gente se quiere hablar español, ¿sí? Todos días, día después día. Español, ni English. And I learned Spanish. Oh no, I'm a woke, radical left libtard. I'm not even a Democrat, I'm an independent. So what? I learned Spanish. And I speak English, and I speak bad English, and I speak a little bit of German, a little bit of French. Whoop-de-fucking-do. White is a color. It's not a culture. Our culture is cruelness, meanness, racism, white supremacy. White culture basically means I'm white, you're not, I'm better than you. That's what white culture really stands for, if you want to know the honest truth. Because that's how we've acted. And it's sad that you can't even see that you're so worried about a person that's not white running this country that you're scared to death that one day you're going to be treated the way that you've treated black people and minorities. That's what you're really afraid of, and you don't have the balls to say it. It has to be time, white people. And I'm sorry for people that have heard my videos. I'm not going to stop talking about this. And it may not be sexy, and I'm not going to sit up here and debate MAGA because it's bullshit. It really is bullshit. It is rage bait and clickbait. That's not why we're here. We're here because of this issue. Because this should have never existed if this country was really great. It's about time y'all speak out to your friends and your family, your coworkers, post online. Your silence is complicity, and it is perpetuating this culture right now. Evil succeeds when white people say nothing. Have a white day.